Alright, welcome everybody to Neverwhere Nights Enhanced Edition. Won't be doing too much of an intro here because I've definitely already gone through most of that stuff. But just wanted to go through the options, make sure everything was settled the way we wanted it to. All these I've already settled through. The sound should be good. I have spent hours trying to make sure the balance is right. Let's see, controls. Top down, the camera on this game is the one thing I will never forgive, and that seems to be everyone's gripe with it. It's questionable. They tried to please everybody, and they ended up just kind of pissing everyone else off. The top down definitely is the best option. Chase cam, just you will throw up. I never tried driving camera mode because I went down to top down and I never went back. It seems to be the best overall, because you can manually control it as need be. And game options. D&D Hardcore Rules is, yeah, that's the standard that I remember playing on. It's not too bad, because I think the next level, it just completely screws you over. Yeah, you can, NPCs do 200% damage. Things like that. Sleep effects on players function normally is fine. Yeah. The day is affecting everything, so basically everything gets souped up against you. Except for a couple things. Whereas this is just the standard. Things work the way they should, and that's good enough for me. And everything's on best. I mean, it's an old game. It's not like it's gonna destroy my computer trying to do that. Yeah, alright, we're good. Yeah, so let's get into it. I already started it to a degree, and this will be character creation. You'll see why. I put in the, oh dear lord, yeah, I forgot that Enhanced Edition gives you all these characters. No, I'm good. Thanks though. Appreciate it. Alright, so he is male. And the subrace is Cambion. This will absolutely do nothing, but, you know, it's there for aesthetic's sake. What's a good portrait for him? I always had the habit of just choosing these, because none of these portraits ever actually fit. It will be even worse for Angelo, because, I mean, that's the only one with white hair. Except for the drow, I suppose, but he's not that. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go with, I guess, you know, I might make a custom portrait. I know how to do that. I didn't think about it, but it could be a cool thing to add in later. We'll see. But yeah, okay, so until then, that is definitely not him. I don't know why I clicked that. It's pretty average, but it would work, considering his cloak and dagger routine that he tends to do. Well, cloak and saber in his case. Yeah, I don't really see another roguish one, so we'll do that. That'll work for now. And let's see here. He is technically a... Sometimes I classified him as a bard, but that was in pen and paper, where we kind of molded the additions to do what we wanted. It was like some of 3.5 and some of advanced D&D, and yeah. In this, I'm pretty sure he'll be a rogue fighter. And that's pretty much why I decided. So, we'll start him out as rogue. Obviously, he'll be leveled up to 4 is why I decided on. 5 seemed a little bit too much, even though that's what he was. But again, transfer from pen and paper to the game is different. And he is chaotic neutral, always has been. He tends to lean toward the good side of that spectrum, but he's definitely chaotic neutral at his roots. You can't really... The alignment system for D&D has always been questionable. Because if an evil person does something good, they only get a couple points, they're still considered evil. Which in some cases makes sense, and in some cases it doesn't at all. Someone might have just turned over a whole new leaf and decided to put themselves on the right path. The psychology doesn't work like this. But, you know, it's a game. we'll do what we can. The system will probably be confused by some of my actions. I don't think I'll go too far off, but I might end up true neutral or something because Angelo isn't an idiot. He won't just tell somebody to their face, hey, no. He'll happily manipulate them to get what he wants. And if that means agreeing, quote unquote, to do the law to help them out, then he will do that and take everything they have in the process and then be out of the town before they know. So I don't expect the game to try to keep up with the choices that he makes. I'm sure that alignment will go everywhere. If I need to, I'll go into the debug menu and change him back. We'll see. There are some alignment limitations on some items, so it might be needed, it might not. Okay, so the attributes part, you're going to get a nice little, I'm sure it'll be a sloppy cut, towards me rolling. And basically what'll happen is I'm going to show you what I rolled for his stats, and they're just raw numbers. I hadn't decided where I was going to put what until now. So I'm going to get a quick cut to that, and yeah, I'll see you guys in a few moments. Alright, so this is the way I tend to roll my characters. It's a pretty soft method, so any of you that are hardcore pen and paper players, beware. I use an altered 4d6 b3 method. For those that don't know, this is a standard method used by many in pen and paper. It just means that you roll 4 d6s, and the best of those 3 are the ones that you choose, add together, and that is the ability score you've gained. My altered variation is a cushioned version. The alteration is basically that if you get a 1 or a 2, you re-roll it. That's it. So it's softer, but it tends to be less impactful when you have characters with 4 in an ability score or something similar to that, which is completely outrageous with how 3rd edition is set up and beyond. Alright, with that, let's begin. This is the standard Wizards of the Coast dice roller. It's attached to their primary site, which is why I tend to use it. Just a bit of additional support for them, however minute it may be. Alright, so let's get this set up. We need to change this to 4 for the amount that we're rolling, and go to spin. So 5, 3, 5, 4. So we got 5, 5, 4, which gives us a 14 for the first one. And then we hit it again, and we got 4, 4, 2, 3, which means that 2 is going to be re-rolled, and if it's higher, then we'll use that. It did not. It definitely got a 1. So we got 4, 4, 3 for our next set. And then, let's see. Yeah, change it back to 4. We have 4, 4, 5, 4. So a 5 and 2 4s, which isn't terrible. And let's see, that's what, 3 out of 6. So, wow, 4, 2, 1, 1. So we get to re-roll 3 of those. 2, 4, 3, huh? All right. So let's see, our new highest would be 4, 4, 3. Got a lot of those. It's 2 out of them now. Alright, and let's see, we got 2 more stats left to do, or tributes if you prefer. Alright, so 1, 6, 2, 6, that 1 and 2 will be re-rolled. Gives us 2 and 5, so we got 6, 6, 5, which is quite a decent. Extremely so, actually. That's very close to the max. Just realized that. That's a hell of a starter stat. Alright, last one. I guess that makes up for it. 2s across the board and a 1. Alright, so they all get re-rolled. 5, 2, 5, 2. So 5, 5, 2. Alright, I can deal with a 12. Alright. And that means that our new totals are... mental math is hard. Okay, so that would be 14, 11, 13, 11, 17, and 12. Which is decent. It's an above average starter set. That 17 is especially nice. I've had better. I've also definitely had worse. So yeah. Alright, on to the next section. That would be choosing the actual stats and where they will go. And I will be deciding that in the next part of the video. So future Ethan will be dealing with you there. Alright, so future Ethan, as it were. So we got our numbers, now to distribute them. Due to his background, I focused heavily on his dexterity and intelligence, a little bit of charisma as well. His other stats are a little bit on the low side, but they're still far above average because of his, well, one, his experience, and two, mainly, because of his race. Cambions normally get +2 to so many things it's actually disgusting. And I think a +4 even, depending on which edition you go by. I didn't want anything that heavy, and they also don't have drawbacks, which I didn't like. So I changed the racial bonuses because of his diluted blood and for my own taste to +2 to strength and charisma, because that's fairly common in any partial demon. They tend to be much more charming, unless they're tieflings, and they sometimes have a drawback due to their smell, because they smell like brimstone. Again, depending on which edition you go by. Beyond that, he's got a +1 to Constitution and +1 to Intelligence, and -2 to Wisdom. I felt like that made sense due to the chaotic nature that demons often have. I feel like that would be passed down, and it's fairly logical. So, those bonuses aside, the way I'm going to distribute the main stats, as it were, he'll have 11 Strength, 17 Dexterity, 13 Constitution, 11 Wisdom, 14 Intelligence, and 12 Charisma. Fumbled there at the end. So with his racial bonuses, the final will be 13 Strength, 17 Dexterity, 14 Con, 9 Wisdom, which numbers are hard, 15 Intelligence, and 14 Charisma. So he's very charming, but not to the point of the most amazing charismatic leader ever. That's the 16 to 18 range. And human beauty is like the 20 area, depending. Obviously that's all up for interpretation, but I feel that due to how his reputation tends to be and how his arrogance can also be portrayed as annoying as hell just as much as charming and inspiring, his charisma will never be tremendously high. It's definitely high though. And he's obviously a very skilled tactician. He's been sailing the seas for ages, commanding naval battles, outsmarting people since he was young. It was the only way he was able to survive. He's very skilled. Wisdom is his weak point, always has been. He doesn't make the best choices in life, like trying to steal from the leader of the Blood Sailors, and that has never changed. It's part inspiring, part dumb, and that common sense is definitely lacking in him. As far as his constitution and durability, it will be after the bonus. He'll have a 14, which is a 10 is a standard average person, generally. A standard average human, I should say. And putting him at 14 means he's definitely athletic and probably above average, which fits. He definitely wasn't designed for... He's not a dwarf. He's not going to go rampaging through the mountains naked. He definitely prefers intelligence and skill to just taking hits and enduring effects and all that. Plus, his natural constitution has never had to be as high because of his racial resistances to many environments. Because Cambions get a 25 to 50% resistance to, like, everything. It's kind of ridiculous. I weakened that as well on the custom skin item. Also gave him some weaknesses because it just made sense. And his dexterity, of course, 17. You could argue it should be higher, almost, because that is his most powerful ability. It's always been his skill. Well, hi there, buddy. Thanks for popping up in my recording. You're famous now. Of those 10 people that watch me. Okay, yeah, where was I? Strength. So, with strength, it's never been his reliance either. It's something he doesn't fall back on much. He prefers hitting him where it hurts more than hitting them to make it hurt. But, you know, he'd have 13 strength after the racial bonuses, which is above average. Athletic, not quite Batman levels of pinnacle strength or anything, but he doesn't need it. He hits intelligently with finesse and skill, not a barrage of high-powered, massive attacks. That's why he uses rapiers and sabers, not, you know, long swords or whatever else. So, with that said, I'm going to get his intelligence to the 15 it'll be at, because I want the skills. Get the charisma up to the 14 it'll be at. Wisdom 9. Let's see if I can just minimize how many stats I have to change. The first feats he'll take won't need any stats, I don't think, because there's I'll show you when I get there, but there's one-time only feats that are in Nevermore Nights that I feel fit him very well. So 14 con that he'd have, and the 13 strength that he would have, and then we'll just put the rest in dex, and that will be the one that we edit using console commands. Alright, and these I never really got into. I understand they're there for more casual players, but I prefer configuration. Alright, so skills. He's definitely maxed out in hiding and sensory. That's always, he's had to live by those skills. Search and spot. Alright, so we got 24 left. Next step would be his silver tongue, in my opinion, which is the persuade. Normally I put some in buff as well. Bluff. But it's not used in the main campaign, so it would literally just be a waste. Persuade is included in it for the main campaign. This is only in Hordes, I believe. It might be in Shadows, but I don't believe so. Alright, then moving on to the standard rogues skills. Yeah, he's definitely got that. He isn't one really for pickpocketing and setting traps himself. Well, he is, but the way the Neverwinter Nights system works, setting traps is practically useless in the main campaigns. These are only useful in custom modules, pretty much. You just don't have time. You have to charge in like an idiot and then run away, and pray that the AI would use the logical pathways to fall through those traps. It doesn't usually happen. Maybe in Hordes, because of the close quarters, I could use it, but we're nowhere near that point, so I'm going to leave that untouched for now. And, let's see, Tumble, definitely. Lore is another important one, because despite... I don't know how best to put it. Despite his history, I suppose, he's actually very well learned. As explained in the ship, in his history on the ship, he spent a lot of time studying with Van Gaal, and he expanded his knowledge tremendously. In fact, I'm very tempted to delve in to use magical items, because he would have a degree of skill in those areas. He never wanted to cast himself, really, because he wanted to focus on what he knew best, and his racial affinity kind of almost scared him due to it, though he'd never admit that. But using other magical items was definitely in his repertoire, but I feel like due to how the system itself works in Neverwinter Nights, I won't bother with it, because he'd more likely just sell the scrolls and sell the wands and everything else and just get the money and use the money for potions or something else that works better for him. Now, that might change depending on how the campaign itself goes. If I feel like he would decide the scrolls are more useful to enhance himself, maybe keeping some scrolls, who knows, we'll see. But for now, I think I'll focus it into a praise. because that definitely matches with his silver tongue and his need to his need to whittle people down as much as possible and maximize his profit. Alright. He definitely has some skill in heal as well, but I don't know, I'm torn on it. This is where I wish I had more points. Why couldn't you have rolled for a 16? That extra 4 would have done phenomenal. But I didn't, and of all the skills that he has, heal is definitely on the lower spectrum before magic devices, because he knows some basic first aid, but nothing more than anyone else really. So for now, I'll leave it alone. Again, that might change. We'll see. Alright, and the feats. This is what I was commenting on before. So there it is, the luck of heroes. Now, he's always claimed he is not a hero. However, he is overwhelmingly lucky. All the things that he's experienced, and you find this in most main characters, that's their driving point. That's what makes them main characters. They're special, they're different, they're lucky. And I've always, it fits too much with how his life has gone, how he's survived. The second option would either be Strong Soul or Silver Palm. Either one is fairly fitting because of his silver tongue. A bonus to appraise and persuasion is definitely something that fits well. But at the same time, I feel like that's reflected well enough in the skills themselves, whereas this is something much more unique. This also helps cover for a weakness, but that's besides the point. This matches his willpower, because his wisdom is definitely low, but that's one issue with the systems in D&D, is it doesn't take that into account too much. His willpower, and as far as his willpower is very high. It's the only reason he's survived this long. The luck has helped him, but it's definitely not been his driving force. His ambition, his need, his pride, that's what's driven him forward. To escape being a beggar, basically. To becoming the captain in the Blood Sailor Navy, for lack of a better word. It's not really a navy, but, you know, it's multiple ships, so. But due to his low wisdom, it won't be reflected too much. So I feel like Strong Soul will help balance that out a little bit, and it matches him very well. So we'll go with that. And yeah, use that as the basis. Alright, and now for his appearance, and he's got suntanned skin because of his time as a sailor. His hair is, let's see, we could try this, but yeah, I don't think that looks quite accurate. Yeah, it almost looks fake, like dyed, which a lot of these colors actually do. That's closer. I don't like that sheen that it's got on it, though. Alright, well that's just not white at all. Yeah, that's silver. Alright. Well, this might be our best option. It'll have to do. And then let's see. We want a pretty boy head. Perfect. Yeah, it'll be a little bit longer than that, but that'll work. You can never find anything that works just on the nose, period. That's very rare. Alright, and he's got plenty of tattoos all over him, just like any good sailor. And they are in the Blood Sailor colors, which is red and blue. That blue almost looks black as a tattoo, though, so that's a little better. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Clothing. Well, he had a Blood Sail Captain uniform, but that did not last, so. Let's see. For now, that's an odd bug. See the feet? That's weird. Hopefully that doesn't persist through the game itself. So let's see. He's been stripped of... Oh, that's a cat. He has been stripped of his armory entirely. And that means he's stuck wearing pretty much what they give him. So, yeah, I'd say that's about right. That's weird. I still never quite get this. A sleeve under a sleeve. Feel like it should have been the rounded, billowed out variation, but you know, whatever. He probably won't be wearing this for long anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, alright.
Get on them! Attack, I say!
Well, that's definitely not his voice. First, let's take out this this bio. I still never understand why they do that. I guess it's because some casuals will play and they don't want to go through the process of making a detailed character. Alright, so Angelo is 37. He was about 5 when he began his pickpocketing and begging, and over the years he evolved and spent a lot of time out at sea. Now let's see. Angelo. Diablos. Blood Sale. And now the question is, what do I want to do for the bio, if anything? Let's see, have I written anything down for it? Yes, I write things down. Don't judge me. I act like an old man. I haven't, and I don't think I really need to, considering the introduction that I made, which wasn't amazing, but oh, I've misspelled this. There we go. Or missed the key, either way. I guess... I mean, I can just leave it blank. It's not like we're going to be examining ourselves and no one else is going to be looking at it. I could put titles in, I suppose. That's what My Name Is Not Lily did, and he's the one that inspired me to start doing this, so that's not a terrible idea, but the difference is Angelo's a new character. I've played him for one campaign in pen and paper, and then there's this. And honestly, he doesn't have many. I mean, the White Wolf, the White Fox of the Sea, Winter's Fang, because of his saber that he had confiscated when he came to Neverwinter. It was part of the deal. That's really it. Oh, Red-Eyed Demon was his nickname, if you really wanted to call something like that a nickname, when he was a child. And as far as deity goes, he never really has had one. That might change. But he's never really felt the need. Yeah, I think that'll do for now. Alright. Oh, his voice. Definitely need to go through there. I recall...
By my direction, attack!
Yeah, I think that'll work. There was another one that sometimes I chose, but I don't think...
Show them your steel! Attack!
Yeah, it's not.
By my direction, attack!
The name is amusing, but that's about right. He's definitely not brooding, but take what you can get. Alright. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, and that's that. Let's dive in. I'll equip his racial customs and do the debug menu, and we'll go from there. I'll edit out the loading menu, just a little bit of extra time we don't need to waste. Alright, everybody, welcome to the game. Although we are not quite playing just yet, so... Alright, first let's set up all this. We don't need any of this. Why am I... What is... That's different. Stop that. Alright, so first set this up. See, here's the racial ability in the PC. And for this, all you want to do is drag it onto a slot and then click it, and it will equip the item. Then you can just put anything over it and it'll see. All good. And that's now his new skin. It's that simple, really. Alright, so this is the rod. And all it is Burning Hands, Charm Person, Dark Fire, and Darkness. You can use them once a day, and that's it. Nothing else. Some of the Cambions, according to different editions, have a much more wide variety of abilities that they can cast, and it's a little ridiculous. Alright. Got that. Combine these. Organize the inventory a little bit. Craps that I don't need. Oh, I forgot. You got a basic armor. A short sword. Something he will quickly get rid of if he gets the option to do so. Usually I make one of my pouches for potions. Torch. That actually does play a role in the main campaign, which is nice. And yeah. Alright. Let me bring up the console commands real quick, do some edits, and we'll be able to start the main game. Alright, so we got the got the numbers all set now. I had to look up the debug menu stuff because I definitely forgot it. It's been way too long. So we go debug mode 1. And then, let's see, just a couple quick, oh, maybe I should actually hit the right keys. DM set dex 17. There we go. That's the only stat that needed alterations, I believe. Yeah. Then we got gotta give him up to level 4. So DM give level 3. And I can't remember if this will set him to 3 or give him 3 levels, so we'll find out. Alright, so grab a fighter level. And then this one's fairly simple. Just pour it all into discipline, I think. Because all the other skills are nothing but, well, I like going by the old way where the skill itself can't go higher than what it would cap out as for that class. So like he's level 1 fighter, so it can only be up to 4. So I can either save that point or put it into heal. And I think that might be an okay idea. Yeah, why not? Alright, so from here we definitely want weapon finesse, because that'll be huge. That's a huge part of his combat. And then another rogue. And for this we'll go with hide. Go silent. Nope, I'm doing it again. It's a habit. Alright, so he's level 2 rogue, so 5 is his cap for these. And then I wonder if I can just bump them all to 5. Looks like it. Yeah, perfect. Alright. That might change, I don't know, when some skills hit a certain point, but for now, I want to stick to that mindset. I know it doesn't work as well in this because some of the skill checks are not designed for that. If you're level 20, you're expected to have, you're expected to have 20 to 24 in a skill. And that's just how it is. So, we'll see. That might not hold up, but for now, I'll stick to it. Alright, and he is a 2-weapon fighter, but you really struggle unless you're a ranger for early 2-weapon fighting efficiently. So I think for now we'll do a weapon focus in rapier. Although stealthy might not be a bad choice. So would toughness. That's a pretty decent one. Well, that's toughness. I think that represents his time as a sailor quite well. So it'll work. And I guess it does. It gives him the 3 levels. So that's perfect. Now the choice here is dexterity or intelligence. Because that extra skill would be nice, but having a 4 would be good too. 4 modifier. Removing that drawback would also be nice. So many choices. I think for now, while we're still early, we'll take the extra skill points. I think it'll do us good. And let's see, his level 2, 5 would be his cap. So get that to 5, and then the next one, I guess, gets saved, because that can't be increased right now if I stick to those rules. So for now, that'll be saved. And let's see, we get that extra class feat. I think weapon focus and rapier this time would be a good one. Dodge would be really nice though. That could really improve our chances, but for now, he's supposed to be incredibly skilled. He was one of the best swordsmen, so we'll do that. Alright. And there we go. He's all set. Alright. I will see you guys in the first actual episode. See you then.